Welcome back to Say It As It Is with Brandon and Tyler. Tyler's out doing Uber, and he also didn't want to himself to record this week due to insomnia issues. And I wanted to do purely baseball. We tried getting him sub. I'm putting together a sub list for him so that way when stuff happens, we can keep on going. Anyways, this time around, I'm going unscripted. Is it a good idea for me to go unscripted or solo? Well, unscripted, yes. Solo, not so much because I usually go scripted. Anyways, in the baseball world, Milwaukee has been on a torrid hot streak, as in like 13 straight, and they've been scoring a crap ton of runs. Pittsburgh just kind of rolled over and died the previous series, and Milwaukee got free burgers. And I was told that those burgers are actually mediocre, but when they're free, they're a lot better then because they're free. Anyways, Baseball America also released their prospect rankings in the past few days. They're pretty reliable when it comes to the farm system rankings. Now, obviously, you can go on the MLB website and pull up whatever like you want related to baseball, and they have their own ranking system from 3 days ago as well. Naturally, they like just embracing the Dodgers and doing that whole shtick. Where they put LA as number 1, no surprise to anyone. Then they put Minnesota as number 2. They sold their entire team, so not really much surprise there. Seattle is ranked 3 on their system. Milwaukee is ranked 4th. Cleveland 5th. Detroit 6th. And then they put the Mets at number 7. I'm not going to continue on their list. But with Baseball America's system, I think it's more interesting. So, first off, number 1 is Milwaukee. Number 2 is Pittsburgh. 3 Detroit, 4 Minnesota. 5 Boston, 6 Seattle, 7 Dodgers, 8 Athletics, 9 Mets, 10 Cincinnati, 11 Baltimore, 12 Arizona, 13 Marlins, 14 St. Louis, 15 Cleveland, 16 San Francisco, 17 Yankee, 18 White Sox, 19 Phillies, 20 is Tampa, 21 Washington, 22 is the Cubs. Now, what in the world happened with the Cubs? Like, oh my goodness, they are, after the All-Star break, they just went downward spiral earlier than they usually do. And they have the 22nd best farm system, ranked 22nd farm system, according to Baseball America. 23 is Toronto, 24 Kansas City, 25 Angels, 26 Texas Rangers, 27 Colorado, 28 Houston, 29 Atlanta, and to no one's surprise, number 30 is San Diego. Now, San Diego, they gave away their entire farm system, excluding an Ethan Salas, who is the number 63rd top one of the top 100 prospects in baseball, but he's a catcher and he can't you don't want to give up these top catchers or potentially top catchers because really good catchers are hard to come by. So therefore, they're probably going to hold on to him unless Preller is like, hey, let's just trade away Salas now and remove the farm system or the non-existent farm system that they have. Naturally. Toronto has to have a deep run this year because that's not a good ranking for them. Dodgers, like everyone else, we wish they just went away. Now, after this year and next year is after their whole contract, their players association working contract thing or agreement with the MLB will be expired. There will be another lockout, and it's over salary cap. Now, with the salary cap, Right now, you only have a luxury tax, which is more like a soft salary cap. You get punished, you might lose draft picks, you might lose. Actually, no, you do lose money, you get taxed. It's literally a tax you just pay into the league for. And when it comes to players, half of their salary is taken out due to taxes, anyways. But only the Dodgers and the Mets basically ignore the salary tax, luxury tax, not you know what I mean. The luxury tax, and the Dodgers have like $1 billion or over $1 billion in deferred money, basically mortgaging away their future to go on like a 10 to 15 year run of deep playoff runs and championships. And like $680 million of that is Otani's albatross, where it looks, which is actually a really good and clever way to do out, like to create that contract, because he gets paid $2 million a year while he's playing, and then when he retires is when everything else is due. We can't wait to see their downfall. Anyways, the luxury tax I think should be left in place after they put a salary cap in. Harper told Manfred to not come into the clubhouse and to go F himself over the salary cap. The salary cap is more meant to punish Steve Cohen, also known as Daddy Steve, out in the world of the Mets, who just says, hey, Soto, here's $700 million to just give up front, and there's no deferred money because he doesn't care. He just wants to just pump money into the Mets until they win a championship. And well, that's not really working for him currently. It's entirely possible for both New York teams to not be in the playoffs this year, which would be the funniest thing out there. If the Dodgers were to miss, that'd be hilarious too, but that's not going to happen. They're going to be in the playoffs. I personally think one of two New York teams will be in the playoffs, but not both. And then, of course, the Dodgers with all their deferred money, and the salary cap thing is to basically punish those two teams, while the other 28 teams look at those two organizations, go, screw you guys for doing this. And then you have some people who are like the Cubs, who have a ton of money because they're like one of the largest markets, and their ownership is cheap. They don't trade away prospects. They don't spend during free agency, and they're just kind of content that they won a championship 9 years ago. That is going to do basically nothing. It's just like, hey, you're going to see a great season. Going to hit about the last 6 weeks of the regular season, which are the most important weeks, and you'll see the team tank. And then the White Sox fans and anyone who doesn't like the Cubs, which are Brewer fans and St. Louis fans, go, Cubs are an acronym for completely useless by September. And they only have 1 year of Kyle Tucker. Kyle Tucker is going to get paid during the offseason. Now, with that lockout, I personally would recommend don't sign anyone to more than a 1 year contract because of said lockout. Otherwise, all those contracts can get grandfathered in, and that will be just cap hell for a lot of teams. And I mean a lot. Honestly, if you put, like, I still say do a floor and cap, where you want to have a floor of about $90 million. And like, you can create some pretty competitive teams by doing that, realistically. Like, look at Tampa. They put about $90 million, and out of nowhere, they are usually like the best 90-win team you've never heard of. Bunch of nobodies, but they get the job done. And the Marlins, they're not doing anything. They are at 66.1 mil. Athletics, which no one wants to play for, and are playing in a AAA ballpark in Sacramento until their stadium in Vegas is built. They're at 77.3. The White Sox are at 77.46. Pittsburgh is at 82.6. So really, it's like Tampa Bay is the cutoff. Right now they're at like 87 mil. But if you want to just make rounding and math easy, call it 90 mil. So it's like pay at least 90 mil. And then you go down to the highest paid rosters. You have Houston at 231 mil, Toronto 252 mil, Philly at 288 mil, 298 for the Yankees, 339 for the Mets, and 341 for the Dodgers. Where you have, and that's like not in deferred. Deferred is well north of $1 billion for them. So realistically, you want a floor of like 90 mil, and I'd put a cap at like 220 million. Leave it sit for 3 years, then you can bump it up to 240, and just leave it at 240 because that'll be a healthy balance of teams. You can spread out the talent and leave all the current contracts in there. And let those expire, new contracts fall in there. And as I said, the talent spreads out. Then there is even more parity. The more parity, the better. Like when we look at the NFL, you don't want to be 18 mil. You either want to be competing for a championship or you just want to tank hard. You do not want to be in the middle. Hockey, you have to look into a bit more. Basketball, honestly, I don't care about the NBA. I'd be real with y'all. I do not care about the NBA. College is more interesting to watch, but even with like college players getting paid now, how large the transfer portal is, honestly, I'm like I starting to like not care about that a whole lot. However, do I approve of college players getting paid? Yes, but they have to only do it with like sponsorships and not any other way. Otherwise, no, because they're already getting full ride scholarships from those universities. But that's a topic for another day. The best matchups for y'all to watch if you have MLB TV or if you're able to watch. I've just unfortunately not logged in, so give me one moment. Okay, so Cincinnati versus Milwaukee should be a good matchup because in division, Pittsburgh's garbage against the Cubs. Unless you're a Cubs fan, you don't want to watch that. Seattle and Mets will be good. Toronto and Texas should be fine. Detroit versus Minnesota will not be interesting because Minnesota doesn't have a team anymore. They sold half their team because, fun fact, they were $425 million in debt. And then San Diego versus LA will be interesting. I know yesterday Baltimore almost had a perfect game against Houston. That got broken up in the last 4 outs of the game. And then if you think baseball is too boring, well, maybe check out Banana Ball. I don't know what to tell you. I'm a baseball guy. I know Tyler's a baseball guy. I like hockey, and then the other ones kind of don't care about. However, the NFL, I do like the memes that come out of football, I'm not going to lie. Anyways, if you want to reach out to us, contact us at letschatbt@gmail.com. Go on the Facebook announcement page to see the announcements there. Join the community group there. Follow us on X/Twitter, whatever word you prefer to use or term, whatever, same site. Or you can join the Discord. Until next time, bye.